welcome to C-Fan Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fans. My name is Dave. This is Kevin. And this is Seahawks Weekly, 1 week removed from the Super Bowl, heading into the offseason. Before we jump into everything, guys, make sure that you guys are subscribing. You know, I hear comments in the comment section down below. You know, we'd like to see you guys get more stuff, things of that nature. The content is great, just more quality. We're trying to get that done. The one way you guys can help is make sure that you subscribe, turn the notification bells, give us thumbs up, thumbs down if you got to. I mean, anything will work. And make sure you're leaving those comments in the comment section down below. We want a lot of comments. Well, this week, Kevin, we are getting in our DeLoreans, and we're traveling way back 9 months ago to our second podcast. And what we would like you to do is, please, whatever you do, do not go back and listen to that. We're going to recap it right now. We're going to tell you kind of what we thought going into that draft. And then we're going to tell you what actually happened this year. So, as we all know, Kevin, our first round draft pick last year was Mr. Jamal Adams. We traded for him. He's going to be our first round pick this year. We already know we're on the clock. Number 10 for us is Jamal Adams. Kevin, so let's just cover first and third because they look really similar. They might be the same guy. What did Jamal do this year?
Well, before we start off, I just want to say congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams for winning the Super Bowl, and Matthew Stafford for finally getting the monkey off his back and winning a playoff game and the Super Bowl. So congratulations to those guys. And our boy Cooper.
And we're in Washington, Kevin. There's only one player on that team that we care about, and that's Cooper Kupp. Well, that man, I'm sorry, pride of Washington. The rest of the team, bleh. Go ahead and carry on, sir.
Anyway, so Jamal Adams, he actually played in 12 games last year. He finished fourth on the team, even with only playing 12 games with tackles. He ended up with 78 tackles, 47 solo. He had 0 sacks this last year, which is absolutely horrible.
Travesty.
Yeah. He had 2 interceptions, 5 pass defense. He had a good year, but not really. He really was not used to the best of his abilities.
Not worth the contract.
No, and his PFF grade was 60.1. So I just hope, and I know we both have heard Clint had a press conference, and he basically said they are going to figure out how to use Jamal to his best of his ability. And so hats off to Clint and the rest of the staff, and let's see him do it. So
No, not hats off, Kevin. No, I don't give them a hats off. What I want them to do, I want them to get into some sort of a bunker, some sort of an office, something with a locking door, bring in lots of snacks because Clint Hurt looks like he needs snacks, and more snacks, and a whiteboard, and they sit down and they don't come out until they've got the maximized plan of how we are going to recoup on the field those draft picks. He has got to perform next year. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. That's what I have to say. I know, I did right here.
You did. I can't believe you said that. So
right? I know.
I give him the benefit of the doubt because I think Jamal is still Jamal. And I think that Clint and Sean and Carl can put this thing together and get the most out of them. So I think they're going to be aggressive like they talked about. So you know, I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you can go ahead, Kevin. That is your prerogative. However, I am not giving any benefits of no doubts. And if you guys agree with me, make sure you drop it in those comment sections. I'm going to pound the comment section to death today. All right, Kevin, let's go ahead and since we've taken care of Jamal, put him in our rearview mirror and locked him in a room with Clint Hurt and the rest of the defensive staff. Number 2 was Eskridge.
Yes.
Number 1 in the program, number 2 on the draft board. Kevin, tell us a little bit about Eskridge.
Well, back in our second episode, I guess it was, we were so excited about this kid. We were talking about him being an absolute speedster, a deep threat, some guy I'm working with named Dave, he was so giddy about this guy and his fly sweeps and yak. All he talked about was yak, 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 yak.
That's what I do anyway.
Well, he was injured for quite a few games this year, and he started, in the preseason, he was injured. He did end up playing 10 games, though, and he had 19 targets, 10 receptions, 64 yards, 1 TD. He had 4 rushing attempts, 54 yards with 14.8 average. In the first game of the year against the Colts, he had 2 fly sweeps for 22 yards before he got the concussion. He ended up with a PFF grade of 58.3 for the year.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kevin, in the last game of the season against the Rams, man, he got a fly sweep and went, 40 yards, 37 yards, something like that.
I don't know.
You were able to see the production. You're able to see a glimpse of what he can add to the offense. Yeah, I was giddy. I was very happy to see this kid in Seattle, and I haven't changed my mind. I am excited to see what he can do with a full season, with him having a chance to work with Russell. There's a couple games where you could tell they were trying to force the ball to him down the field, and he just did not have the feel that Tyler and DK have gotten with Russell. And the only thing that's going to do is make sure that Russell practices with him, get that timing, and get better with this kid. I mean, I still have great feeling that this kid is going to be a producer and a yak monster. It's just going to take a couple more games, and he's going to have to put some more weight on that 5'9" frame and be able to absorb some of the punishment that the NFL level is going to dish out. Still believe in him.
Yeah, and there was one play this year, I don't remember what game it was, but he ended up blocking for Rashad Penny, and boy, he broke him loose. And hey, if he could do that, he's okay in my book. So.
Kevin, I love how you bring that up. It was a block. Let's just say that.
Yeah, okay.
There wasn't a lot there. Anyway, Kevin, we all know that Jamal Adams was our 3rd round pick, and we've already covered enough of Jamal C-rant in the beginning of this video. Moving on to our 4th rounder out of Oklahoma, Mr. Trey Brown. Kevin, how did Trey do last year?
Well, he didn't really start off the year very well. He kind of was a backup. We had Trey Flowers. We had a few guys other in front of him, Sidney Jones, and, DJ Reed. So he ended up playing in 5 games. He had 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 1 pass defense. He had 17 targets, 8 receptions allowed, and he had a PFF grade of 61.1. And then he was injured for the rest of the year. We really like this kid. And even if we go back to our original talk when we drafted him, this kid has a chip on his shoulder. He has an attitude, a winning attitude. He wants to win. He is a competitor, and he's going to hit you. And what I said in the original, I was told he was handsy and grabby. So, however you want to take it, but I really have a lot of belief in this kid, and I think he's going to be a really, really good ball player in the future.
What I saw out of this kid is he was able to play around the line of scrimmage. He was able to close on the ball carriers. I remember there was a ball that was thrown in the flat. He wasn't even the primary defender. He closed and tackled for a loss. And he recognized the play. I see a lot of great things out of those 5 games. And I zeroed in and I was watching. Anytime I saw him on the field, I made sure that I focused in on what Trey Brown was doing. I still feel good about this pick. I think that this season, again, we need to put some more weight on. He needs to make sure that he is NFL durable and then go out there and execute. I think signing DJ Reed and having Trey Brown on the other side. I also like Bless Austin and Sidney Jones. If we can bring some of those guys back, I still feel good about this backfield. Do I feel great? Nope.
One of the other things they were talking about in the draft with Trey is that he's very, very fast.
Yeah, 4.4 speed. We can't teach speed.
Nope.
All right, Kevin. So last year's 5th round pick was Mr. Gabe Jackson from the Raiders. Yep. He had a solid year, I think, at guard. Not great. Solid, I would say, less than shaky. Yeah. Kevin, what did you find out for us?
Well, he wasn't the weak link on our team. Let's just put it that way.
Jesus, my.
Yeah, he had 922 snaps. He had 4 penalties, 3 sacks allowed. I really thought he played, very well. He could have been better, could have been worse. I thought his run blocking was really, really good. And I thought towards the end of the season, between him and Jake Kernan, we ran the ball on that side a ton. Mm-hmm. And I was really more excited about that towards the end of the season than any other time of year. Now, he had a PFF grade of 63.6, so not spectacular, but okay.
So you said Jake Kernan? I think he was an undrafted free agent. If you guys come back next week, turn on that notification bell. We're going to be breaking down the undrafted free agents in our next week's show.
Yes.
Getting back to Gabe Jackson, I think he's a solid guard. Him and Damian Lewis, I think Damian Lewis moving to the other side, he struggled this year. I think they had to make up for a lot of what Ethan Posick was letting through in the interior. Hopefully, we're going to go out and make a splash in the free agent market and bring in an actual center. You guys have to look forward to those shows because I've got a few on my radar as far as targets go of centers that are going to be available. There's about 3 or 4 good centers that are out there that I don't think it's a question if, I think it's a must that we have to pick up one of these quality centers. It's just, it has to be this year.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have brought me around to that. I resisted it. But as always, just like Trey Brown, you were handsy and grabby and moving me in the direction that I needed to get to. And now I'm here banging on the drum for a new center. So, Kevin, our 6th round draft pick, I was way higher on than I probably should have been. I don't know if I smoked something that day. I don't know what I did, but I was so excited about Stone Forsythe. Well, Kevin, tell us the Stone Forsythe story in a nutshell.
Well, Dave, somebody told me that this kid was going to be a superstar because he had the stamp of approval from one Hutch. And that's all I'll say. So, Mr. Gold Jacket himself, he probably knows more than I do. Stone played 14 snaps with 0 penalties, 0 sacks, and he had a PFF grade of 68.1 because he didn't allow didn't have a penalty or sack. So there you go. But realistically, very tall, very awkward, doesn't move very smoothly. Can it get better? Absolutely. I don't know if he's going to even be on the team next year. He got outplayed by the rookie free agent, Jake Kernan from, Cal. Cal.
Yeah, no, he's from Cal.
Yep. And so I don't know if he's going to make it, but he didn't really contribute very much, in my opinion.
One of the things that I said is that you can't teach size, and this kid is a wall with legs. And I see that, with some work, maybe we have something, maybe he's a backup. After watching him on the field this year, he looked very, I was not blown away, not impressed. I hold judgment out. He has a whole offseason to work. Maybe his second work on his craft. Maybe going into the second year, he will have more flexibility, more give in his stance. I honestly can come up with 1,000 terms that I've heard. I would love to see him some work out. I have a feeling, though, at left tackle, they're going to bring in, I don't think Jamal Brown is going to make it into another season with Seattle. And they're going to bring in somebody maybe like a Armstead from New Orleans is kind of where I'm hoping they go. I hope that they spend some dollars on that offensive line. And I just don't see him as a long-term solution like I was excited. And honestly, I think they gambled. They had a 6th-round pick. They had somebody say, hey, this guy's enormous. And he got into camp and he wasn't what they were looking for. So, it's a 6th-round pick. Who knows what kind of gold you can get in that round. So let's go ahead and move on to our 7th-round draft pick, Kevin.
One Carlos Dunlap.
Oh, out of Florida.
Mm-hmm. Carlos played in 17 games last year. He was healthy all year. Had a total of 30 tackles, 19 solo, 8.5 sacks, 1 safety, 7 pass defense, and 1 forced fumble.
Hey, Kevin, quick question.
Yeah.
Was he our nickel quarterback last year?
I don't know.
Was he? I'm pretty sure he was lined up as nickel most of the season.
Yeah, I think so. And that's part of the problem is in the first 11 games, they did not use this guy properly. They were constantly backpedaling. They're constantly trying to cover people in the field, and it just didn't work. In the last 6 games, he had 8 sacks, 8 of his 8.5 of the year in the last 6 games. They used him right, and they let him rush the passer. That's what he needs to do. And according to Clint, that's what they're going to do with him this year.
I don't know how many weeks that our play are click that. I don't know how many weeks that our pick to click or our X factor, either one of us would pick Carlos Dunlap. And by the end of the season, we were so gun shy about bringing his name up because we had been burned so many times. Even if he had a 3-sack game, we were like, still don't want to say his name. and because every game he was covering a running back out of the backfield or a wide receiver or whatever. They did not use him properly. What Clint Hurtt said, he said that will not happen this upcoming season. He said that there may be a certain situation that he may be out doing that, but as a whole, he's going to be moving forward towards the quarterback. Causing chaos is something I heard him say. That is all music to my ears. I got giddy. I almost drove my car off the road. I was so happy to hear those types of things come out of Clint Hurtt's lips. And I can't wait to see what he brings. Maybe while he's locked in the office dealing with Jamal, maybe they come up with some special packages for our 7th-round pick, Carlos Dunlap, as well.
Yep.
All right, Kevin, with that being said, next week we're going to tackle the undrafted free agents that we brought in because we brought in a ton last year because we didn't have very many draft picks. We only had the 3. Also, looking forward, we are going to start breaking down the upcoming draft positions that we'd like to see us go after. I'm looking forward to this offseason. Again, guys, this is us being 9 months in. We are still in the infancy as a channel, and we are looking forward to continuing to bring you guys great content as far as Seahawks Weekly. Again, make sure you subscribe, especially if you made it all this way. Why not? You must be crazy. You must be certifiable. Make sure you drop those comments in the comment section down below. Kevin, you got any final words?
Go Hawks.
Deuces.